What golden nugget of information do you have to share? Monkeys have a very distinct way of wanking off, and yes, they do wank themselves. Closed bracket comma, which, in contrast to normal human male way of forming a tube with their hands, creates a shovel with their hand and cup their genitalia from under, and repeatedly rub it. I don't watch monkeys jack off. I just saw it in a documentary. Edit. I really don't. Edit. This is like 4 days old. How are you finding this GF? I don't have links to monkey porn. In the center courtyard of the Pentagon, you don't have to salute superior officers. It's a recreation lunch area and you'd basically spend the whole time saluting. So it's not required there. Source, my uncle, a Navy corpsman, who currently works at the Pentagon. Stonehenge, the world's most famous henge, isn't actually a henge. A henge is a Neolithic earthworks, oval or circular in shape, sometimes containing wooden or stone structures, and surrounded by a perimeter of a bank with internal ditch. So the famous stones of Stonehenge aren't even a necessary part of a henge, just an optional extra. But more importantly, the bank and ditch at Stonehenge are the wrong way round to make it an official henge. So Stonehenge isn't a henge. However, the earliest recorded use of the word henge is in reference to Stonehenge. So non-henge, Stonehenge, despite not being a henge, is the thing all other henges are named after. If you don't have a toilet plunger and you have clogged it up, pour in a bit of dish soap and some hot water. The hotter the better. Let stand for 15 minutes and flush. Learned this when immediately upon arriving at our hotel. My 8-year-old clogged up our toilet and I googled. Found this gem. Realized it packed a tiny travel bottle of dish soap. Warmed water up in the microwave and lo and behold, it worked. I still use it sometimes at home when I don't wanna be grossed out by plunging. Yes, my child has a tendency to clog toilets, so there ya go. X% of Y is the same as Y% of X. So if you're struggling to find 26% of 50, maybe 50% of 26, 13 is much easier to do quickly. I have some words for my 6th grade math teacher. You say whatever you want, but you'll still be wrong because it's not their way of doing it. CTRL plus SHIFT plus ESC opens straight to the task manager instead of CTRL plus ALT plus DELETE and then manually selecting task manager. Horses have a massive blind spot on the front and back of their body. If you are ever around a tame horse, keep a hand on their body while walking around them. This lets it know where you are at all times and decreases chances of kicking out of shock or fear. This also prevents them from kicking you with as much force. You need to stay very close to them for the full benefit. This is similar with goats, as they instinctively fight things coming head on and should be approached from the sides. Also, ears are the gateway to a horse's feelings. Pinned back ears indicates an anxious or angered horse. Pinned straight up indicates curiosity and focus. If your older parents/grandparents are suddenly acting strange, get them checked for a UT. In older people, UTIs can cause a psychotic or delusional episode. At the beginning of every relationship, agree to assume positive intent. Talk about it often. Don't forget about it and make it the most important rule. Fights will be less. Empathy will be greater and your relationship will be stronger. I told my wife from the very start of our relationship, if I say something, that can be taken 2 ways, and one of those ways makes you angry or sad, I meant the other one. Even though you have a VPN, it doesn't necessarily keep you hidden. If skilled people wanted to find you, there are many things that can leak your IP that you have to isolate and fix, such as IPv6 leaks, DNS leaks, and WebRTC leaks. Also, every ad you add to your browser, it gives you a unique fingerprint that can lead back to you. You're not as secure as you think. Artillery was responsible for over 70% of combat casualties in both world wars. A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days, so don't think drowning it will help you out of your scorpion problem. A moose can run 40 miles per hour through 6-foot deep snow. Foreign garment to be labeled made in USA, the process only needs to be started and finished in America. In the case of a certain ladies' underwear line, the material is cut in USA, shipped overseas for assembly, then shipped back to America, where a seamstress sews a made in USA tag on the item. Source/underwear factory worker. The first president of Zimbabwe was President Banana. It was also illegal to joke about his name in Zimbabwe, so the foreign press used to joke about his name more. Iron can make your poop color turn black. When Elton John changed his name from Reginald Dwight, he also gave himself a middle name. His full name is Elton Hercules John. The earth wobbles really slowly like a spinning top. It takes about 26,000 years to come full circle. In the process, the northern star changes. This is called precession. Airline ops guy here. If you check in a bag at an airport with an hour or less before departure, it has a 50/50 shot of making it on the plane. Just like that saline. Bag security can back up too. I regularly see 30+ minute in screening statuses on bags. Then, it may be pulled for a hand screening and search. This is random and ZA doesn't care when the flight leaves. So now we are at about 25 minutes to departure and your bag has only just now entered the sort system. It will take another 5 to 10 minutes to sort out to the person who loads carts with bags. Here, the problem is that there may be 7 to 10 other flights coming off of the same conveyor belt. They have to see your bag's tag out of maybe 50 other bags. So let's assume another 5 minutes. Your flight's bag cart was delivered plane side at an hour before departure. It is now 15 minutes to departure. The bag room has seen your bag and has it on the back of a tug racing to the plane. 7 minutes before departure the baggage compartments are closed and total weights are being submitted. Your bag has missed the airplane. TL. Doctor, please check in more than an hour before your flight if checking a bag or else it might not make it on the plane. I had a heart transplant 5 years ago. When your heart is replaced, the surgeon has to cut the main nerve that gets the signal from the brain to beat and or increase the intensity of the beat. Without this vagus nerve, your new heart has no regulation and pumps blood out of habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response and your new heart beats at 90+ beats a minute. Armadillos give birth to 4 identical twins always. Yes. Just to clarify a little, they bear either 4 or 8 pups. They either have 1 set of identical quads or 2 sets of identical quads. There are 3 ways to refer to a gathering of geese. 1. If they're on the ground it's a gaggle. 2. If they're flying, but not in a V-shaped formation it's a skein. 3. If they're flying and in a V-shaped formation, it's a wedge. A single spaghetti noodle is called a spaghetto. When you move to a new place, take a 30-minute walk through the neighborhood. Even if you just stop at 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee, it will make it feel a lot more like home. Speaking of golden nuggets of information to share, goldfish lose their color if they are kept in dim light or are placed in a body of running water, such as a stream. Also, goldfish actually get very large and live for a very long time. But most people don't care for them properly and end up suffocating them in ammonia. Get a first aid course. It really does save lives. The Outer Bridge Crossing is a bridge that connects Staten Island, New York to Perth Amboy, NJ. You probably think it was named that because it's the outermost bridge in New York City. Wrong. It's named after Eugenius Harvey Outer Bridge. All colors of Fruit Loops have the same flavor. Also true for Play-Doh. The main reason we stop doing something we love is because we forget our love of doing it for enjoyment's sake and replace it with a desire to be good at it. You've inspired me. I should go tune up my guitar and get back to playing. I enjoyed it. I was decent. And I should enjoy being decent at it rather than good or great. Most people replace their computer or run them into the ground when they get hot and slow, when in reality new thermal compound and a solid state drive upgrade can fix both problems and increase its lifespan for about $35 to $50 and isn't incredibly hard to DIY in most cases. I work front desk at a hotel. I've seen this before, so I hope it's new to someone. Don't use sites like Expedia etc. If you book directly with the hotel you can always call to make changes. If you need to cancel you can avoid the 24-hour window fee by changing your reservation to a few days later. Then call back the next day to cancel. Third-party booking sites are not easy to change info. We cannot change the rate if something needs to be fixed, and you are looked down upon, and get whatever basic rooms are available. Not by me personally, but everyone around me. If you ever have a baseball bat and need to use it as a weapon, put a sock over it so if someone tries to disarm you, they just slide off the sock. If you carry a baseball bat in your vehicle for self-defense, also carry a baseball glove, even if you don't play baseball. Your lawyer will appreciate it. People often underestimate how big a billion actually is. An easy way to conceptualize it is to think of it in terms of seconds. 1 million seconds ago was 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds ago was 1987. There are about 60,000 characters in the Mandarin language. A very literate person will know 20,000. The average person from 5,000 to 10,000. If uneducated, around 3,000. I met a German girl who had studied Mandarin in university. She said she knew about 6,000 characters, which was about enough for her to read the newspaper. Each one of the Yamato-class battleship's main gun turrets weighed over 3,000 tons, heavier than the average US destroyer. If you were on a destroyer in the US Navy during WWII, you ran the risk of having to fight a ship whose primary weapons alone displace more weight than your entire vessel. Heat the back of a spoon gently and press it on a mosquito bite for a few seconds to greatly reduce itching. The heat breaks up the protein in the venom. Edit, as this got traction. You only need to warm it up under warm water, whilst a 3rd degree burn with a red hot spoon does technically work. I wouldn't advise it. Arguing with a genius and winning is possible but very hard. Arguing with an idiot and winning is impossible. You can watch any movie you want at any time by googling the name of the movie in Google Drive, as well as the name of any book and PDF. Happy quarantine. A 30 minutes walk every day decreases the percent of you getting dementia. I keep meaning to do that but always forget. Don't believe everything you think. Stop and question yourself every once in a while. Seasonal allergies are almost entirely man-made ailments. When planting landscaping trees and bushes in the 50s and 60s, people didn't want to use female trees as they didn't want fruit to fall on streets and on people's cars. So they opted for almost entirely male trees, thus drastically increasing the pollen output. I worked at Domino's Pizza for a while. You should never order their specialty pizzas. Just order their mix and match deal, which is 2 medium pizzas with 2 toppings. You can put all 4 toppings on one pizza, which is about what you get on a specialty, and you essentially get a free cheese pizza. Admit when you're wrong. Say it out loud to the person you were incorrect to, and don't let your pride stop you. The amount of respect you instantly gain is shocking, no matter how much you like the person. This is especially important to do with children. They are humans also, and can be right about things. Modeling this when they are young helps them to learn to do it as well. Even if you aren't willing to give mouth to mouth on an unconscious person, chest compressions alone greatly increase their odds of survival. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.